I'm at the comic. I am wondering what are you doing here now? Talking about Five Nights at Freddy's again? Yes. Jay explained about Fury that how the Fury and how the, the Fury of Circus Baby being revealed to be the new CEO of Fazbear Entertainment is not entirely true. Evidence number one, her lineup of games. Let me make it very clear that I knew that Security Breach would not reveal that Circus Baby is the villain. One is that in her appearances following up her first time appearing, her and her groups of other animatronics are not following do not become entirely the main threat of the game. I'm talking about her appearances at their sister location in Pizzeria Simulator. And sister location in Pizzeria Simulator, the fun times are entirely the main threat. While in Pizzeria Simulator, we have a few other threats, being Scrapjack and Lefty. And Circus Baby and Molten Freddy, aka the animatronics being part of the fun times. By the way, who decides that we're being controlled by Remnant? Not only that, Remnant of the original animatronic from the first part. Anyways, that's a video for another day. So, and in UCN, she is part of, yes, she is part of the main roster of customizable animatronics. But that's only in the UCN. And then look at her appearance in Help Wanted. She clearly is not just the only threat, and our fun times is not the only threat that is not there in the game. Other animatronics you might get are in the Help Wanted as well. And then there's her appearances in Special Delivery, where she is, part of the animatronics. She can be part of the Fazbear Entertainment delivery service. So yeah, Circus Baby had like a couple appearances, and yet the only appearances she didn't have outside of her first appearance in the games was in the books. Well, again, she was revealed to be a fourth and last robotic recreation of Charlie, or she's a completely different character called Eleanor. Do you see where this is coming from? Do you see what I mean? That she outside of her first appearance wasn't always the main threat. Do you see why I'm coming with this? See why I had to get this my first example. Anyways, how was my first example? My second example is that she would never try to say she would bring back her father, William Afton. She would never try to plan to bring back Afton. If she was new CEO, then why did the new CEO decide to bring Afton back? The whole point of the FNAF 6 ending was to destroy the remaining animatronics that were still that the main animatronics that were still being controlled by humans. The puppets, Scrap Trap, Scrap Baby, and Lefty. And I can't count Mo and Freddy since it's an amalgamation. It cannot be controlled by human. And number 3, she actually died in the fire of Pizzeria Simulator. Yep. She was one of those remaining animatronics in the original timeline that actually was no longer there in the story. As Henry said that her soul doesn't belong to her. Henry said in the speech, "Your souls don't belong to you." This means that he's seated and putting their soul to rest. That's why when you see her in the blob, see her head in the blob, you don't see any glowing eyes. You would if her soul was not put to rest. And no, her soul did not disappear. One any evidence of me having a bit of a montage of every character that's proven that they're no longer in the story. Golden and Freddy and the rest of the FNAF 1 animatronics have been shown to put their soul to rest in Happiest Day in FNAF 3. And to show that it was part of a good ending. If we want to look at an image of Happiest Day, look at what happens when they leave the bodies. They are nothing but just heads. How can Golden Freddy still be around in the story if Happiest Day shows that he's nothing but just a head? And to prove that, he's no longer mentioned, not even physically shown in the steelable releases, but he is shown in special delivery. Anyway, she is one of those characters that has been, being shown to no longer being in the story. If you wonder, I know you're wondering, if you say that, then why is she in special delivery? Why is she in Help Wanted? Why is she in UCN? Why is she in other games after she's been shown to be burned in Pizzeria Simulator? Well, which leads to evidence number 2. Evidence number 2. Evidence number 2. It's a reminder of what happened before in the story. Now, in case you don't think it's a reminder of what happens to the story, just watch a few songs. Just listen to a couple of the voice lines from her parents from UCN and special delivery to tell me otherwise. Or you can look up special delivery on Wikipedia or UCN on Wiki, or look her up on Wikipedia to show the different skins and her 8-bit form in special delivery. That's right, special delivery is the only game that has returned an 8-bit form of an actual character. See, her 8-bit form in special delivery is kind of hinting of what happened to her, what the mini game showed, what happened to her before she was controlled by Elizabeth. If you can search 8-bit baby on YouTube or Google this and put in AR, FNAF AR, you can clearly tell that it's actually her. She actually is. Her 8-bit form is in special delivery. Want more proof? Whoa. Whoa. Well, what I've told you, that her voice actor is the same voice actor she used to play, who used to play her back in her first appearance and in her other appearance in Scrap Baby. And what have I told you? She does the exact same thing as the plush in 8-bit form. Yep. Evidence number 3. Evidence number 3. The Blob. You knew was coming and you didn't. I certainly did not know how you would do this. In the theorist's own ways of theorizing what the timeline of financial phrase is, people saying that the shadow animatronics are a form of agony. But here's the problem. There's one teeny tiny problem. Agony is only mentioned in the Fazbear Frights book. Yes, Henry does say it once in the FNAF 6 ending, but that's not what type of agony he's talking about. The type of agony in the Fazbear Frights books is way more extreme than whatever controls the animatronic's emotions. Seriously, the games never explain what makes the animatronic still being controlled by a human and still being around for all these years. You think Fazbear Entertainment would start learning by now not to continue on making more animatronics? Well, that's why we have the series, and Scott Collins himself to blame for that. Anyways, what was I saying? About the Blob. But Matt the Comic Guy, how do you know the Blob would be your third piece of evidence? Well, look down at the Blob and you see that Circus Baby's head is no longer glowing. This means that her soul has actually been put to rest and that she's no longer being part of the story. What more proof? Well, tell me, just play Security Breach and notice any other physical appearance from Circus Baby. Trust me, you will not find it. The system location room kinda will prove your point, but here's the thing. That's the only thing in Security Breach that is left in the original timeline, which means that the other people that know about Circus Baby's existence and know about the father's existence must have still recognized the room. And the only other character that's been to that room before, since it's part of a sister location, that's right, Lister's older sibling, aka brother, Michael Afton. Another character that has obvious connections to William Afton himself. You don't know, William Afton is actually the player protagonist in FNAF 1, Sister Location, and Pizzeria Simulator. He's clearly not the player protagonist in FNAF 2. We don't know if he is a player protagonist in FNAF 3, though I highly would agree upon that. He is not, clearly not, the player protagonist in FNAF 4. That belongs to his youngest brother, the crying child. Ah, now we're going all back in. Now, you'll remember, someone made a theory that they want to prove that Michael Afton is the player protagonist in FNAF 4. There is a couple of characters' voice lines that prove this is not the case. There are many characters that prove this is not the case. How I know that? Well, it's because of UCN and yes, special delivery. UCN and yes, UCN. Anyways, they wanted me to delve into the voice line to prove that it's not the case. Well, yes, I knew that Nightmare in the files was called Shadow Freddy, but there's other voice lines of Nightmare that proves that there's other things of Nightmare that prove it's not Shadow Freddy. One, they are completely different. Two, Nightmare is one of the nightmares that the crying child has. Well, Shadow Freddy is just an Easter egg character. The only thing that's similar to them is the fact that they're darker colored versions of a yellow bear animatronic, and that they're Easter egg characters. Anyways, and three, they are not have similar ways to how they affect the player. In Shadow Freddy, he does not try to jump scare you. Nobody just wants to kill you. He just sits there. But if you stare at him too long, it crashes your game. That's right. He doesn't even have a jump scare to do it. And of course, Nightmare wants to try to kill the player in FNAF 4. Don't believe me? Then how about I told you that the Nightmare is, in fact, what happens when you get killed by Nightmare. That's right. You get this static noise. You get jump scared. And, of course, this sounds like an ambulance sound, making it very impossible to prove that Nightmare and Shadow Freddy are the same animatronic. Sure, if it sounds like an ambulance sound, let's make it sound like weird. But I believe it sounds like that, plus a mix of a clown trying to... Oh, wait. What are you doing?
It's almost out.
Okay. Well, oh, where was I? Oh, yeah. Anyways, now you want to know how Shadow Freddy is not made of acne. Let me show you a few, couple Google images. Hold on. Hold on. Here's my proof of why Shadow Freddy cannot be formed of agony or William Acton's witness. This is Shadow Freddy. Look at that. It does not look like anything that's form of agony, is it? Look at all these images. This is proof that he's not a form of agony or a nightmare. And look at their differences. This here is Nightmare. This is what he looks like. See that? So yeah, Nightmare is not Shadow Freddy, and no, he's not a form of agony. It's like, what is, it's like, what do you have to prove anything? Well, it's proved that not all the characters are continuing on after the original story. Only a few of them. Foul evidence. This is a big one. This is a big one. It wanted me to make a Shadow Freddy video. I can. But this, be aware, just be nice about. Let me be nice for one. Nice about for once. Circus Baby is mainly just an animatronic. That's simple. It's just mainly just an animatronic. Now, before I finish off, I want to say Thursday and Friday and Saturday I have a couple more videos. They are a trilogy of videos on displaying histories. Anyways, that's it for now. Bye.